Christmas is a season for family and friends, and it's always fun to reconnect with my former co-host, pastor, author, founder and president of WOW, working for Orphans and Widows, Jim Cantelon.
Hey.
How you been?
I'm Where
have you been?
Well, you know, if this is, as we speak, if this is Monday, this must be Burlington. That's how I feel right now.
Good so far.
I've been on the tear, on the road.
You've been traveling.
All over the place, yeah. This time mainly in the States because we have a U.S. corporation for Visionledd WOW, and had a board meeting and opened a few bank accounts for our organization, and we're just really kicking into gear big time in the U.S. So. And then I was in Texas meeting with some churches who want to be supportive of our work, and then spending some time with my daughter, who with her husband pastors in Dallas.
Yeah, your family's really moving all over.
Yeah, really. So, you know, we were in Texas and we were in Georgia, and now I'm here with you.
Well, this is wonderful. No moss growing on this
No.
this man here. And you come bearing a gift
Well,
for Christmas.
Yeah.
Now, I can't pretend to be surprised. Not that I'd be pretending, you know that. But I've known about this book for some time. It's been coming.
Yeah, well, you know, I wrote it 10 years ago.
That's why.
Yeah, and I just basically kept it in my desk. I thought someday I would like to publish it. And a few months ago, I thought, you know, nuts to this. Let's get this thing out of here. So I contacted Castle Key Publishing. They were very interested in the book. And they referred me to a young artist, 24-year-old young guy who is a terrific artist. And he's done all this great artwort in the book, The Boy Who Sang for the Angels.
The Boy Who Sang for the Angels. Now, I've known you for a few years, Jim, and I recognize some themes, even some details as being important to you. But this is very much about injustice and loss. And I can't help but wonder if you were helped in the grieving process in writing this because of your own loss.
Well, you know, that was a factor. Our son-in-law was killed in Africa 7 years ago. And then dealing with orphans and widows, as I have for the last 17 years, I've been very much confronted by the dark side of life, if you will. But this is not a dark story. It's ultimately a happy story. But it's interesting, if I can just borrow it here. People have asked me, well, so how did you come up with the idea? Well, you know what? This is the honest truth.
Let me guess.
Okay.
Shepherd's Field. It had an influence.
In Jerusalem? Well, sure.
You talk about it every Christmas.
Yeah. I used to bring out my congregation out of the Shepherd's Fields in Jerusalem to sing there every Christmas Eve. And well, sure. But I woke up one early morning at 3 o'clock in the morning with this sentence on my brain, which is the first sentence of the story. Once upon a time in a village far away, there was a shepherd boy who sang for the angels. And I thought, well, where did that come from? And I was so astonished by it, because this is the only time it ever happened in my life. I went to my desk, put my desk light on, risking waking Kathy up, and wrote it down. And over the next 3 weeks, the story wrote itself.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I've heard other fiction, writers say how a story almost takes on its own life, and the characters take on their own personas. Well, that's exactly my experience. And you know, it's a terrific story for Christmas. It's full of music. I could see it becoming a movie one day, really, with all the music that's involved. You know, the cathedral and the cathedral choir, and little Jersey who sings in the choir, and all it is Miriam, his orphan mother, who also is a singer. And then he's singing for the angels out there in the shepherd's fields, you know, where they're looking after the sheep. So it's a very gripping story, and I've read it several times.
To your grandchildren?
No, well, to my grandchildren, yeah, but also to friends of mine over the years, adult friends, and they sit there and they get teared up. You know, it's a very emotional story.
It is, and you know, one of the thoughts I had, because there's darkness in it, this is a difficult time on planet Earth.
Yeah.
We're coming into this Christmas on the heels of so much devastation and loss and natural disasters, and you've got young people, and this is geared for children, you say 7 to 12, who are at least hearing about death and destruction. The supernatural comes in to bring that hope.
Yeah.
Got to be careful. Don't want to spoil the story.
No.
But that's a very timely
Yeah, there's
recovery.
there's definite hope at the end of the book, and it's at the risk of sounding like I'm promoting the sale of the book, it's a great book to buy for grandchildren. You know, it will uplift children's lives. It introduces them in a kind of a non-directional way to, you know, that supernatural reality out there.
Speaking of supernatural reality, not to cut in,
Yeah.
but you know our time is just evaporating. Something we kind of were a little bit at odds with theologically.
Yeah.
You redeemed in the book.
Oh, did I? Oh, really? What's that?
Hebrews 12, the great cloud of witnesses.
Yes. Yes.
We know that it may not actually mean that those who've gone before, the saints in heaven, may not actually be watching us, may not be. It may just be that their example is cheering us on. Your book would counter that. Your book.
Yeah. Well, you know, it is a work of fiction.
Oh, nice.
No, well, listen. I don't. You know, the Apostle Paul said, "Absent from the body, present with the Lord." We all speculate. None of us really knows.
True.
One thing I can say, Maura, is that dimension, that heavenly dimension, is right here. Yes. You know, it's right here, the parallel universe, if you will.
That's what David Main said out of his long 6.5-hour coma. He never realized how thin the veil is.
You know, I pull out my iPhone here, and I get my Google app, and there's maybe 500 million websites that are right here with you and me. All I have to do is a proper receptor, right? Well, that's where heaven is. It's very close, and none of us knows from one day to the next when it might be our turn. So I like to think that there is interaction, and in the book, I'm basically saying, why not?
You took my side. I love it.
I did not take your side.
The boy who
Gee
sang
whiz.
for the angels. A Christmas gift from Jim Cantelon. How lovely. And just being together is a Christmas
And
gift.
people can get it on Amazon.com. They can go to their bookstore, and if it's not in the shelves, they can go to it and order it. It's available everywhere.
Merry Christmas.
Well, and to you, Merry
I
Christmas.
love the cat.
Okay.
Don't go away. More festive encouragement coming up.